Hey guys, welcome again to Divorce Matters, and I am your host Iranola. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what pastors are missing today, right? So let's get started. And again, guys, please hit the like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm, I guess. So, thanks.
A guy who's in his late 20s, early to mid 30s, still doesn't have a woman, still doesn't have children on the horizon, is a very selfish and self-indulgent human being. And he is just going to vote for socialists to take care of him from womb to tomb, rather than being a grown man who carries his own responsibilities for his family.
Sure. Okay. Oh, guys,
And shout out to Effective Purpose. That's the name of this channel that I am reacting to. He's got almost 10,000 subscribers, so he's growing. So check out his stuff. Effective Purpose. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I am sorry. You should not have to deal with this. This type of stuff makes me just because I mean not for myself. Like I'm doing all right, but it makes me upset for the guys who are asking out girl after girl and getting rejected left, right, and center, and then they go to church and get treated like you're the problem. Now, there's a sliver of truth to what he's saying here. There are guys out there who really are that selfish, and they just like, yeah, I'm totally happy to just sit at home and watch porn and play video games, and I don't actually want a real woman in my life. My life's great. There are some outliers who are like that. But if you actually talk to the guys who are single right now, that is nothing like what they're experiencing. They do not want to be single.
I'm 26 years old and never had a girlfriend.
27 years old, never kissed a girl on the lips before, which of course means I've never had a girlfriend before, never dated anyone before, and it fucking kills me. I'm not gonna lie, it does kill me a lot.
And then they say stuff like this, and it's like they're getting kicked in the face while they're down. And he's getting lit up in the comments for it. The dating scene has been bleeped for the last 5 to 10 years. He's married too long to understand the dating scene is absolutely destroyed. A lot of assumptions here. Admitting entirely an educated man and looking for also a quality one. Not the best English, but I mean, the point is basically it's not so easy for a decent man even to find a quality woman today who's actually interested in him. Even people who've actually been through this and they got married, look at this, married late, 35, had kids at 38 and 42. So this is just not resonating.
You heard what he said, guys? He said it's even hard for decent men to find a woman. All right? Pay attention to what he's saying. It's good stuff.
With anybody's experience out there. And this is really important too. So this commenter points out, so I'm 36 years old, nearly, and we'll be getting married for the first time next year. It's all in God's timing. I mean, there's some stuff you have to do on your end too, but yes, this is really critical. Paul says it's better for you not to be married. That was me. This, by the way, this is not the Church of Jesus. This is stuff from like the Church of the American Way. He's taking his own conclusions about a small group of men and then universally applying it to all young single men, which is not fair at all. And it's actually pretty close to what a lot of feminists are doing to men right now. Lest we forget Jordan Peterson's epic rant about it.
What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society. There's nothing about that that's vaguely appropriate.
This is not what the church should be. Single men should be welcomed and respected. They should be encouraged and built up too. And that's what's really frustrating about this, is the part that's missing is that there's no solutions offered anywhere in here. It's just a drive-by curb stomp insult. And if you're not offering solutions to people, then all you're doing is complaining. And ain't one single guy out there gonna listen to you complain about them and then respond well to that. This is why the church is shrinking right now. And young men, the people that we need the most, are the demographic that's leaving the fastest. We don't respect them. And I've had a lot of young men comment on my videos saying that they don't feel like the church has anything for them. They feel like the church right now is set up just to benefit married people and parents, and that there's just nothing there for them. There's no help on offer. And my question,
Hey, let's talk about it. The church. Oh boy. Where do we start? All right. Here we go. Pastors don't know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? They just don't. They really don't. All right? There's going to be another part of the video where another pastor who I respect wholeheartedly, John MacArthur, oh my God, he's a really great pastor. When it comes to relationships, no fucking idea. None. And churches right now, they're pretty much, they only exist to collect your money in the form of tithes and offerings. That's pretty much it. Jesus Christ is an afterthought. Do they care about the salvation of each and every person that walks through those doors on Sunday? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What they care about is the membership numbers, especially the women. Why? Because women are the ones that spend the most amount of money in society. This is why every single freaking institution in the United States, right? They cannot do without women's revenue. They just can't. NFL, Budweiser, Target, Walmart, you name it. ESPN, NFL Network. Why? Because they depend on women's revenue. Why? Because women are the ones that make the most decisions when it comes to buying. When it comes to buying homes, women are the ones that make the decisions, not the men. Not the men. So that's why you see a lot of agents, right? Really talking to the women. When you have the man and the woman, the man is pretty much just there to just sign the check. That's it. It's the woman that makes the final decision. Because women are the spenders of this economy. That's why you see a lot of laws that cater towards women. Even child support. Why is it that all the statistics say that a man is better, children are better off with men, single fathers than single mothers? Because they know that if the women get the money, the women are going to spend. Women are going to spend. But if it was the reverse, they know men are not going to spend. We're frugal like that. We're forward thinkers. We don't spend money like that. Men don't spend money. We just don't. A man would live in a one-bedroom apartment on the floor if he had to. He doesn't care. He's got covering. He's cool. No, but when you have a woman in your life, she got the upgrade, baby. Oh no, we ain't gonna be living like this, baby. You feel me? But the churches have lost their minds. All these pastors who have been married for 20, 30 years or whatever, they have no freaking idea what it's like out there for single men. They don't. They think they do, but they don't. They have no idea. They live in this idealistic world, the way it's supposed to be in the Bible. It's not. It's not. Then they want to look down on men and call men selfish if they can't find if they're not married. No, it's not that they're not married. It's that they can't find a woman. They're looking for women, but they just can't find one that wants to marry them. Even decent men can find them. So the onus is not on us, right? They asked a group of men and a group of women. They said, they asked the men, if you could find a woman that fulfills 80% of your requirements, would you marry her? Absolutely. Overwhelming majority of the men said yes. Asked women the same thing. Majority of the women said absolutely not. We are not going to quote unquote settle. We're talking about two different species, and it seems like pastors don't seem to understand that. Pastors don't understand that. They just feel like, single women, single men. Let's form that group, have like singles conferences, and boom, they're just gonna hook up with us. They're just gonna automatically just gonna find each other and marry. No, that's not how it works, partner. Just because a woman goes to church does not mean at all that this woman is not for the streets. Ooh, I got stories. Ooh, I got some stories for you. I got some stories. You feel me? I'll give y'all one. Cool. Since we're entertaining, cool, fine. I'll give y'all one. I am not proud of this at all. Not proud of this at all. But this is one of my during my dumbass days. I literally had a girl in church that I met in church on a Wednesday. Yes? Okay. Friday night, I was in her house. Watch this. We getting it on. I didn't even meet her on Thursday. Met her on Wednesday. Talked a little bit. Friday night, I was in her house. Cool. And she has some big ass. You get me? Okay. I'm in the house Friday night around 10 o'clock. 12 midnight, we getting it done. We gets it. We're getting it in. I mean, this girl looked like she was kind of starved too. Do you know what this girl did? Let me tell you what this girl did, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. She actually stopped everything while we was in the middle of the do. Right? She said, "Hang on, we have." Shit makes me laugh right now. Dude. She said, "Hang on, right? That me and my church group, we got like prayer meeting at midnight. Like it's like delivering prayer for breakthrough or whatever." So she told me to hang on, that she got to go to the bathroom to talk to the pastor at her group. Like it's only going to take like 20, 30 minutes. Do you believe this girl got up butt ass naked with her phone, went into the bathroom, started praying? I'm listening to all this shit. Started praying to the pastor and all that good stuff. About 15 minutes later, she got out. She was done. She came back, hopped right on the dick. Yo, I could give y'all stories for days, bruh. For real. Like, don't play with me, man. Like, so all these pastors thinking that all these women are just, saints and, sugar and spice and all things nice. Bruh, no, they're not. They ain't no different. Just because she goes to church, that shit don't mean nothing. Just because she had good parents, Christian parents, that shit don't mean nothing. What you think that? What you think that mean? That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Any girl can be got. Don't mean nothing. Right? So all these pastors, they don't have a freaking clue, man. They have no idea. They haven't been out in the streets. They ain't been in the field in God knows how long, but yet they want to dictate to us how we should live. We live in the real world, partner, and that's not how it is. These girls are not trying to cooperate with you, period. I want to fast forward to this other, not there. I'm looking for the part where he speaks. Mm-mm. Maybe it's, yeah, right here. So let's hear what John MacArthur has to say. Listen.
Benefit your own feelings at the other person's cost. And I wish we were done with this type of stuff, but unfortunately, there's more.
You might be eager to obey the command, but can't find anybody who's willing to marry you. So you have to look at yourself in the way that Paul described marriage in Ephesians 5. He basically says that a husband is like a savior to his wife. And I think the burden really lies with men to see themselves as those who rescue women from loneliness.
Okay, but what if they don't want to be rescued by you?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll come back to that.
What I would experience in our society, it's the men that have to step up. And I honestly do not know what in the world they are waiting for. I have threatened many times to line up all the single women on one side, all the single men on the other side, and assign you a wife.
Oh my God. This is painfully out of touch. And the comments know. Like, look at this. From a godly single man, we're stepping up, but no women want us. And it's so hard to find a godly wife who feels the same feelings you do. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize on behalf of this. I suspect that guys who say stuff like this don't see that there's a math problem in the dating world. It's as if many Christian leaders today still have a mental image of the dating world that reflects the 70s or the 90s or whenever it was that they were dating. So in their mind, they're thinking that the average woman would want to date the average man because that's the way it was back then for them. So it makes sense to them that if the average woman would date the average man, but nobody's dating, it must just be because the men aren't stepping up. Logically, that makes sense. The problem is the landscape has changed. Yes, the average man does want to date the average woman, statistically speaking, but the average woman has no interest in the average man. You have to be significantly above average for a woman to show any interest in you at all.
Men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch.
And unfortunately, it's not that different in the church. So you have this math problem where about 80% of the women really only wants 20% of the men, but that leaves 80% of the men with only 20% of the women. And that's just not enough to go around for all of them mathematically, right? You're left with 60% in the middle who there is not a willing woman that's available for them. So for leaders like this, it seems that they still believe that there's this sort of equilibrium between men and women and that things are relatively fair and balanced between the sexes in the dating world. They are not. And the comments know this. My frustration is I can never seem to find the women he describes. Every time I do, they're either not interested or spoken for. And these days, many women say one thing but are actually completely different. Being an introvert doesn't help me much either, so I'll just continue doing my single thing until God brings me someone. Like, this makes me kind of sad.
Until God gives me something. Well, that dude's going to be waiting for a long time, dude. This is. God is not going to force a woman to marry you. He isn't. And that's hard to say. And it really is hard to say. He's not going to force anybody to do anything that's against their will. Or else that wouldn't be love. Right? The issue is not with men not looking for women. It's the fact that the women are not looking for men. They're not checking for men. All the women are looking for the top 20%. So what's going to happen to the other 80% of men? They just shut out a lot. But the pastors today, they don't seem to understand that. Or if they do understand it, some do, they just want to say what women want to hear. So they don't piss them off. So they can collect the tithe money. See how that whole thing works? And COVID really exposed this whole tithing and offering thing, right? People were still going to church online, right? A lot of smart people realize that, you know what? I can still talk to God. Why I gotta go to church? For what? Why I gotta go to this physical building? I thought that was the whole point of Jesus Christ actually being crucified and the veil being torn. There was no longer a need for that intermediary. And what did we do? Build it right back. Now we got an intermediary. Some douchebag, freaking pastor who thinks he's talking for God is going to stand there. Some herb, some simp ass dude. He's going to tell you how to run your life. He ain't been out in the field in 25 years. He think he got game. He thinks he knows what's up. A lot of dudes are suffering in marriages, man, but they just not going to say it. Oh, they suffering like a motherfucker, man. Most guys that get married, they tell you, bruh, ain't even worth the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. Don't even do it. Man, these are Christian men. Women are unrealistic in their expectations. They want the best of the best, but they are hardly the best. Hardly. The church that I used to go to in the United States, African church, bruh, most of the women over there were like 2 to 4. They weren't even 5s. They were like 2 to 4. The cutest girl over there was an Ethiopian chick. God damn, did that girl have ass. Oh my Lord. She did. And she was cute too. About, Ethiopian, man, I'm the sucker for Ethiopian. My ex was Ethiopian. Half Ethiopian, half Ghana. Oh, Ethiopian women. That's another video in itself. I got a thing for Ethiopians, boy. But she was like a 6.5, pushing 7 actually. But she's getting a little chubby. But she knew it too. So I say it all the time. Like she just rejects men all the time. And all the men that go to my church, oh, we all make 6 figures. That ain't nothing, bro. All the dudes that are over 30 and above, yeah, 6 figures ain't nothing. Yes, it is what it is. I mean, we're Nigerian. I mean, it is what it is. We're good providers. And we're good suckers as well. Church know this. So a lot of these pastors don't know what the hell they're talking about. Right? They make proclamations, they make recommendations that are not based on reality anymore. They're based on what God wants, but that's not the world we live in. You get me? So you got to watch out for these church girls, man. And you got to watch out for these pastors that give you all these recommendations, right? Even the Bible will tell you that if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, right? It says, I looked through 1,000 men, and all I could find was one good man out of there. I looked through 1,000 women, and I couldn't find none. It says it in the book of Ecclesiastes. Read it yourself. Well, I'll come with it, bro. If you read the book of Proverbs 30 or 31. It even says it, right? Who can find a virtuous woman? Show me where she is. And that was a woman talking through Solomon. Right? Where are you going to find a virtuous woman? So it's not that the men don't want to get married. It's like, who are they going to get married to? Who? Where they at? They see the divorce rate. They see the hell. They see the hell that men are going through today. You got to give a man a good reason to get married. You just have to. Like, but right now, women are not giving men any reason to want to take that leap because they know the hell that they go through. Church women are not, means nothing, makes no difference. No difference whatsoever. A church girl is no difference. There is no difference. None. I've dealt with them. I've dated them. No difference. You couldn't tell. You can't really tell. No, not really. That might be a few, but you can't really tell. No. Nah. Nah. Not today. Child, please. Church girl, shit. They all want to go out to a nice restaurant. They all want to shop. They're all giving it up. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you, they giving it up, man. They giving it up. Now when they hit 30, 35, now they want to get married. They want to settle down after they done been ran through. Oh, and these church girls, oh, believe me, they've been run through. Oh, they have. But it's like the pastors, it's like they try to ignore it or they try to lie about it. Or they just try to sweep it under the rug, right? Because they know that if a woman gets married to a man and they both go to the same church, oh, they always come to church. They're gonna spend that tithe money. That's even more tithe money because now they got combined salaries, right? Now they getting tired from two parties versus one. Why the hell do you think they're pushing for marriage? You think they're pushing for marriage because they like you? At the end of the day, church is a business. It's a business that caters to women. It's quite unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But it just I mean, listen, I wish it wasn't like that, but it is what it is. I got to speak the truth. It is. I was the only human being in my church ever to get kicked out of my church. I got kicked out, dude. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because we used to have these little church meetings or whatever, and I was the only guy that would call out some bullshit when I heard it. I was like, bro, the Bible don't say that shit. What the fuck you talking about? Bible don't say that shit. What you mean? And in the church meeting, it was mostly women there, and this dude, he was some simp ass, fat ass, gut ass, ugly ass dude, man. He had a wife too. So he caters to women. But he saw that, bruh, man, this dude right here, man, he trouble, man. Like, he causing too much of a ruckus. Man, this dude actually called me and said, nah, you can't come back, dog. You should hurt my feelings. I ain't gonna lie to you. You should hurt my feelings a little bit. But I was just like, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I must have done something right. Because nobody likes the truth. Nobody likes to hear the truth. It hurts them. And I'm the type of dude, man, if I'm gonna crush your ass, I crush your ass with facts. I don't lie. I'll say, look, no, the Bible says that. Read it. Read it for yourself. So what's this bullshit you talking about? That's me. And you better give me a good answer. Because I got backup for what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it to you. If whatever you say, I got a backup. That's who I am. I come back with the facts. So pastors out of church today, it's not about the men, it's about the women being unrealistic. And we have no options. Women are ran through, right? Women have motives that you cannot tell. I wish they had stickers on their forehead saying that I am getting married because, but they don't. What men know what other men go through who are married. They know that they're suffering through sexless marriages. They go to church, all these women go to church, but they do not follow the word. How many times have you guys heard sexless marriage? How many times? You've heard it all the time. Sexless marriage, sexless marriage, sexless marriage. And that's a prelude to divorce. Who the hell wants to sign up for that? The whole reason why a man gets married is so he can have constant sex. That's one of the reasons. Have children, of course, blah, blah, blah. But bro, he's doing that to lock you down so he can always have sex, something that he never had his whole life. But as soon as she gets what she wants, then comes a sexist marriage. Now he's stuck because the Bible says you cannot divorce. See how that works? Confusion. All right, guys, that was my rant about pastors. Got nothing against pastors, the good ones, but the bad ones, even the good ones, sometimes they kind of mislead folk. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. Some are, some aren't, right? So yeah, it's an unfortunate situation that we have going on. So guys, please hit the like, hit the subscribe if this was any good to you. Remember, we talk about divorce matters because divorce matters. All right, talk to you guys soon.